This video was originally going to be called 5 quarterbacks that I think are ready to take the next step in their NFL careers in 2019. As you can see by the title and thumbnail, that's not what this is at all. While doing some extra studying on my first topic of that video, I fell head over heels into the thoughts that I had previously. Before I get into this, I need to say, Marcus Mariota is my favorite college football player of all time. I've been following him since his starting year at Oregon and closely waited and anticipated for the moment that he breaks out in the NFL world. As I started writing his part of the video, I couldn't stop writing. So I decided, you know what, let's go ahead and let's make this whole video about Marcus Mariota. Today we're going to take a look at Marcus Mariota's career and try to understand why things have been mediocre or underwhelming. And also, I'm going to attempt to pursue you into at least understanding why I believe that Marcus Mariota is the dark horse NFL MVP that no one is talking about. I'm not going to lie. I know this is a very unpopular opinion, and it's honestly 50% of the reason why I'm making this video. I'm probably the biggest Marcus Mariota fan in the world that is not a Tennessee Titans fan. With that being said, you can kind of see where I'm going with this. I strongly believe that Marcus Mariota will be having the best year of his NFL career in 2019. After averaging between 61 and 62% of completions in his first 3 years, Mariota's completion percentage took a huge jump last year all the way up to 68.9. which finished tied for 5th in the league in 2019. He also threw 8 interceptions, which was actually the lowest of his career, but to be fair, he also threw career lows in passing yards and touchdowns, while being the 8th most sacked quarterback in the NFL. On paper, if you're hearing that and you don't know what's going on, and you don't know what's going on with his health, that might sound kind of weird, but it actually makes a lot of sense. We all knew Mariota was hurt, but very few people genuinely understood what was happening and the seriousness of his injury. Even I had to do some additional studying to completely understand his injury, and I'm still not even sure if I got it yet. When you hear the term stinger, you just think of something that you get almost every time you play football, stings your arm, and it might be lasting a few seconds or maybe even a couple minutes. Little did I know, those things can actually last up to days or weeks. In week 1, Marcus Mariota took a hit, causing him to land on his shoulder. And the problem is, when you have a stinger on your shoulder, it affects the same nerves that go down into your elbow and your hand. There was a point that Marcus Mariota was wearing a glove that only covered half of his hand because of the nerve damage caused by this. Let me take 1 second and allow a doctor to go ahead and explain this to you.
What we consider a stinger, or sometimes you'll hear it referred to as a burner, is basically any sort of transient or temporary symptoms of nerve damage, typically occurring in the arm or the hand. These are usually injuries to what we call the brachial plexus, located up in the neck where all those nerves exit and go down to the arm. And basically there's some sort of trauma or injury that sort of shocks or stuns these nerves, causing the player or the athlete to have symptoms, things like numbness, weakness, tingling, typically down in the arm and in the hand, just like Mariota had. So you can imagine if there's some sort of damage or injury up here, that it's gonna go down and cause weakness in the hand because all these nerves are controlling those functions in the hand.
Basically, all that means that Marcus Mariota last season was playing with a half-numb hand, which was his throwing hand. He would end up taking hits twice more throughout the course of the season that would end up re-injuring his arm, and also ended up missing the last 2 games of the season. This is an injury that 50% of the people that get it end up re-injuring. He'd end up playing within a shell of himself, becoming a solidified game manager due to the complications his injury has caused to his ability to throw a football. Although this would be a problem for the rest of the year, this isn't something to be worried about for the future. His nerves in his arm simply need time to rest. This is an injury that a surgery can't necessarily fix. You just need to allow your arm and your nerves time to rest and the time to be able to repair themselves. With that said, I feel like this injury may have done a lot of mental work on Mariota, coming off of a year where he was throwing a career high interceptions with 15 and cutting the amount of touchdowns that he threw down to 13 from the 26 the previous year. I feel like it was a huge thing for him to have to learn how to manage the NFL game and learn how to protect the ball because he couldn't throw it 100%. When you look at what he has gone through and the talent that's now around him in Tennessee, when you have Derrick Henry and Dion Lewis in the same backfield, and you have a very deep wide receiver core, and Corey Davis, who's going to be a star, A.J. Brown that could possibly be a star, Adam Humphries, which we all know what he did in Tampa Bay last year, and then you have Tajay Sharp and Tywan Taylor just to make things deep. If Marcus Mariota can get some decent O-line play, I genuinely believe that he's going to shock the world this season, and he is my personal dark horse MVP vote. Now, this is all just a prediction. Let me remind you that I'm recording this video in May, but with that being said, that's still the case. He is my dark horse MVP of the 2019 season. In a division with two quarterbacks that can win games for their team all on their own in Deshaun Watson and Andrew Luck, Marcus Mariota is going to have to make this happen this year. Let me also remind you that he is going to be playing on his 5th year option of his contract, which is still his rookie deal. He hasn't gotten that big paycheck. After finishing 9-7 over the last 3 years, it's time to step up. And when you think about it, it really should have happened last year. After winning his first career playoff game in 2017, it seemed like things would only go up. Time and time again, injuries have set him back, but I really feel like 2019 is going to be the year of Marcus Mariota.